Evening. Good evening. How's everyone doing? Just me. Chris is sleeping. uh, she's tired. She's worn out. We both kind of are worn out a little bit. I made the mistake of scheduling an event right after the expo, which I don't usually do. Usually we take that week off after just to heal and to rest. And I didn't do that this time. So we are, hey, Kathy. Danielle, how are you? Dana, how you doing? Anne Marie, how are you? Yeah, just John. Sorry. Teresa, how are you? Hey, Donna. So yeah, usually take the week after the expo, rest, heal, recuperate. Didn't do that this time. Hey, Laura, I knew when I scheduled, hey, Alex, the Liberty Hall event, that it was the week after. And hey, Cheryl, there was a chance that the Liberty Hall event was going to get canceled because they were supposedly going to work on the elevator and there was going to be asbestos in the building. So we thought it was going to get canceled, and then the contractors didn't show up. So it was back on and tickets were sold. So, we were there. But yeah, it definitely took its toll. Hey, Celine. And we were tired. So yesterday, I posted this on my personal social media. Chris had, hey, Loen, Chris had set something up where we were going to go to New Hope and meet some people for dinner to celebrate my birthday, which was Friday. Hey, there he is. How are you, Carrie? I'm sorry. I don't have my glasses on, so it's hard for me to read those comments. And it was Donna, Patricia, and Jay. And we met up at the Creeper, spent some time there with Donna, and then we went to go get something to eat at Havana. And I was tired, man. I was really tired because we had an event the night before. I didn't sleep a whole lot. And then driving there and, hanging out. And I was yawning the whole entire time because I was tired. It's not that I didn't have a good time. I was just exhausted. And, we're heading home, and Chris always drives. She don't like the way I drive as it is. So she always drives. And when Chris says, do you feel like driving? I know that means she's tired and she doesn't want to drive. So when she does that, I'm always like, yeah, whatever, I'll drive. And I've driven tired before. We were just talking about this today. When we were in Arizona filming with the Dead Files, we filmed. I filmed overnight, and then I had a 3 hour drive. We had a 3 hour drive back to the airport, literally from the filming to the airport. No sleep, 24 hours. We were up. I was slapping myself to keep myself awake on that trip, radio on, window down, and I made it, but barely made it. So I've driven tired before many, many times. I'm sure we all have. Thank you, Teresa. Hey, John McGinnis. And we're driving, and she said, "Do you feel like driving?" I knew she was tired. Got a Dunkin' Donuts tea, heading home. We're about 3/4 of the way home, and I'm like trying to keep myself awake. I'm looking in all the mirrors. I'm got something on the radio, and I didn't even know that I closed my eyes. No idea. All I know is that I heard my name shouted. I opened my eyes, and poor Chris was grabbing the steering wheel and turning it, and I just shot of adrenaline. I was awake now, and I grabbed the wheel, and I was fine. After that, I was awake, and now it was like, holy crap, what just happened? But it literally, I don't remember closing my eyes. I don't remember what happened. I just fell asleep, obviously. So made it the rest of the way home. Um, didn't really dwell on what happened because I was still real tired. Um, I was worn out, so I went and took a shower, and then I knew I had to get up early this morning, so I just said, you know what? Instead of watching TV or whatever, I literally went to bed at like 7 o'clock, maybe, and I slept straight through till 5 o'clock in the morning, and I felt good. And I got up and had an energy drink, but it was only today as I was up and I got in my car for the first time and thinking about what happened. And the first time ever in my life, I literally just celebrated a birthday, 57 years old. Never in my life have I ever fallen asleep behind the wheel. And literally 2 days after my birthday, I fall asleep behind the wheel. And I'm just thinking again, that what could have happened, entered my brain. And, thank God there was no car to the right of me. I was on a 2-lane highway on Route 22 in Jersey, if you know that. Um, hey, Jay. Um, I was on the right lane. So the only way for me to go off road would have been into the shoulder and into the guardrail. So thank God, as I swerved when I fell asleep, there was no lane there or no car there. I was close to the guardrail. She turned the wheel before I hit it. But thank God I didn't hurt us or anybody else. I mean, just that feeling just stays with you. It's with me now. And I was nervous when I got in my car, and I was nervous when I was driving because I'm like, man, I felt tired, but I did not feel like I was going to fall asleep. And to think that that could happen, it's like, holy crap, never happened before, and, yeah, it scares you. I mean, I really, God forbid I hurt her or anybody else. I mean, me, I was the one who fell asleep, if it happened to me, whatever. But the thought of hurting her or hurting somebody else in their car, oh my God, it was just a horrible, horrible feeling, you know? So that was with me all day. And yeah, I do believe, my mom used to say to me when I was younger, and she would say this a lot. She would always tell me, when it's your time, you're going to go. And, when you're younger, you're like, yeah, yeah, whatever, whatever. But I have been in 2 wrecks that I should have probably died both times. One, I hydroplane going down a road that if you're familiar with West Orange, Eagle Rock Avenue is literally twists and turns, and it goes straight up and straight down. I was young. I knew nothing about hydroplaning. I was driving fast. I went down this hill. The back end kicked out. In a convertible, I hit the divider first, and then I spun into the woods, and I closed my eyes, and all I heard was branches and booms. And when I opened my eyes again, no lie, I kid you not, the convertible was, I was upside down, and the roof was collapsed. The whole car was just wrecked. And I walked out of there with just a slight concussion. Somebody got out of their car, saw me wreck, ran into the woods, and they were shocked when I came walking out of there, like, and there was nobody else in the car that was, whatever. So that was one time. The other time was I was making a turn. I'm approaching a yellow light, making a left. And in front of me, a car's coming from this direction down the hill. I'm kind of going up the hill, making a left. There's a car here, and I still remember it was a white SUV. He was stopping at the light, and I could see him slowing down. So I decided I was going to turn. I didn't see the young kid in the Fast and the Furious car go around him into the other lane and met me right at the intersection. I was going slow because I just took my foot off the brake onto the gas to turn. That kid hit me full bore, just knocked me right into the windshield. I wasn't wearing a seatbelt. I put a huge hole in the windshield. I wound up in the passenger side of the car. And again, whatever takes over, I got myself into the driver's seat. I was off the road going into the grass, put my foot on the brake. I threw it in park, and there was just blood gushing from my head all over the windshield. My body was just aching and hurting like crazy. And my car was smoking a lot because the front end was just demolished. And I went to get out of the car. Don't know who it was to this day. Somebody put their hand on my chest, pushed me back into the seat, and said, "Don't move. The ambulance is coming." And I just laid back, and I thought, man, this is how I go. There was blood everywhere. I'm like, this is how I go. And I didn't. I literally got glue across the top of my forehead. My knee was really swollen, and it healed in time. I didn't need any surgery, but I was lucky. And the guy who hit me, he was fine. I was lucky to walk out of that one. So yeah, guardian angel. Yeah, if there is my mom, of course, and my sister. But I feel really, really fortunate because a lot of people have been through things like that and not walked away from it, all three times. But yeah, I'm grateful that I'm okay and that she's okay. I would have never forgave myself if she got hurt or anybody else. So yeah, that was it. That was the end of my weekend and my birthday weekend. So I do believe, like my mother said, when it's your time, you're going to go. It wasn't my time either. Any of those three times, it wasn't my time. I'm lucky I'm here. So anyway, that's what happened yesterday. But had a good time in New Hope with Patricia and Donna and Jay. Dinner, hanging out at the Creeper Gallery. Funny thing happened at the Creeper Gallery. I don't know if the gentleman is watching, but went there to hang out, see Donna, spend time with Donna. I love Donna. Donna's a dear friend of mine. Go into the shop, bringing back the items that we use for our Halloween lectures, probably 3 or 4 of them. So I have them in a bag, and I'm bringing them into hey, Gina, I'm bringing them into the red room. They're in a bag. So I had the key. Jay's opening up the cases for me, and I think Donna was opening up the key, and I'm going to put them back, and I'm just waiting for Donna to come back. And this guy there who wants to buy some stuff, and he sees me, and no lie, he looks at me like kind of like, he recognized me, and he goes, "Do you have your equipment?" And I said, do I what? He said, "Do you have your equipment? You can do stuff?" And I'm like, "No, I literally said, I'm not here to work. I mean, it's not work, but I'm like, I'm not here for that. I'm here to hang out with my friend, Donna, and meet my other friends here. And we're going to go. Did you bring your equipment?" Like, that was funny because, I guess assuming I'm there, so that's what I'm going to do. And it was just like, wow, is this what people think every time I'm going to walk in that door, that I'm going to, "Hey, everybody, come on, we're going to do this. Gather around," But that was pretty funny. But no, I do not bring my equipment every time I go to the Creeper Gallery if I'm just going there for the heck of it. Speaking of the Creeper Gallery, Donna and I did talk yesterday, and that event at her home, which is not going to be at the Creeper Gallery. The better thing about this event is that parking will not be an issue. There's plenty of parking where she lives, plenty of room in the area that we're going to do it. And it'll just be a 2-hour event where we all get to hang out. It's the week before Christmas, December 19th. So we all get to see each other, investigate some haunted objects, and you know, hey Francis, how are you? Hey Ann, and just have a good time. And you know, so that's December 19th. I don't know when she's gonna release those tickets or announce the event, but we do have the date, and you know, I think it's gonna be limited to like 15 people. Hey Nancy, and I think that's gonna be it. That's what she said anyway. But yeah, that's gonna be it. That's it for the year for sure. And then it'll be a hiatus. Probably a month after everything that happened, and especially after what happened this weekend. You know, I know Chris needs a rest, and I know I need a rest. May not need as long as the rest as she does, but she's my wife, so happy wife, happy life. So we are going to take a break for probably about a month. Not to say we're not doing anything in January. I'm probably going to go out and investigate some places and live stream it. But I don't think there'll be any events at all in January. Someone's trying to talk me into doing something, but I don't think I'm going to do it. I think a month is good to recharge the batteries and just get into it in February, like we did before. We usually do an event February 7th, and 2 months. That's too long. Come on, you want me to take off 2 months? Are you crazy? 1 month. I'm actually negotiating and working with her here. 2 months. Never. I'll go crazy. It'll be like Jack Nicholson in The Shining Hotel. I'll be like typing on a typewriter. All work and no playing makes John a dull boy. If you tie me up for 2 months, no freaking way. But anyway, that's the plan so far. But you know, we are thinking of the concept of going to different places and taking maybe 10 people and just not so much doing that in Jersey, but going away to do that in different places. And it won't be a New Jersey paranormal event per se. It'll just be us with 10 other people, going to a location, renting it out, and just, having a good time. We're going to do a couple of those. We're planning on it anyway. You guys need to rest. Rest is highly overrated. Creeper Gallery for sure. And I mean, even if Chris doesn't want to do that, I can still do that. The only thing is that what happened, put the fear of God into me. And all the nights that I drove there by myself and drove back, even though I wasn't tired, it's still kind of, I'm gun shy because, what happened. And I know Chris is going to be real worried every time I step out now when I drive out by myself anywhere after what happened. But I think I'm good. And I may be doing that by myself tomorrow night. Who knows? Because I never learn. So I do plan on going to the Creeper tomorrow night or Wednesday. Probably tomorrow. There's a couple of new things in there. And here's what we were talking about yesterday, Donna and I. If any of you guys, Kiwi Energy drink. Oh my. Okay, we'll talk about Liberty Hall first. Chris isn't here to really go into it, so I'll just go into to my experience there. Even though I was worn out, exhausted, tired, the great thing about what was that? I have some stories about falling asleep. Yeah, I'm sure we've all. It was refreshing to hear from so many people who said that they've done it, or their spouses have done it, or it's happened to them before, and you know, that I'm not. It just never happened to me before. Never. I mean, I've been tired when I've driven many, many, many times. I don't remember my eyes closing. I mean, literally, I'm driving. I got something on the radio, and then I hear her shout my name, and I'm like, "How did that happen?" I was in shock. You know, never happened to me before. And then you start thinking of all the times it could have happened. And you're like, God dang, man. Wow. I didn't even feel like I was falling asleep. I didn't. And that's what really bothers me the most. But anyway, Liberty Hall, I love Liberty Hall. And I got to go back into Carriage House. And the thing I repeat over and over and over again, no matter where we go and what we do, every night is different. Every place is different. Different people bring different energy. And none of that is just paranormal speak. It is real kind of stuff based on experience. So here we have another night. Spirits do remember you in most cases. If they're still around and you go to locations over and over and over again, they do remember you, certain ones more than others. And Liberty Hall is kind of like that for me in the Carriage House. There were people up top in the attic that were, again, crazy thing, different people. You never know. One group of people just tripwires everywhere, lit up solid red, like it was a huge burst of energy. Seeing Celeste figures kind of working and doing things while, you know, equipment is reacting. In the basement of the Carriage House, there is a little girl. I'm 100% convinced of that. And here's the thing, too. You could be at a location so many times and talk to the historians and the docents and the volunteers and all that, and still years later get little tidbits of information that kind of fill in the gap. There's a little girl down there. I know there is. I've spoken to her. I've interacted with her. She's the type of spirit that if she's present and she wants to talk, you're going to get a night of EVPs. Let's say we ask 4 groups. Let's say we ask, I don't know, 30 questions. On a good night, you'll get 10 responses from her because she's willing to talk. And some will be repetitive, one after the other. Other nights, she's not around at all. And it's really, really strange to me. Like, you know, that's the big mystery. Like, where are they? What is she doing? Why is she there sometimes? And other times she's off doing whatever, you know, and never does she mention her parents. I ask questions about her parents and everything. If they're still around, I never get a response. But again, working with the concept of different people bring different energy, and maybe spirits remember some people, not others, or whatever. First group, I didn't have a lot of stuff going on there. Second group, a little more. Third group, more. And then by the last group, she really came alive, like with the last group too. Travis, who may or may not be watching, Travis, I have 2 bells and I write yes and no, and I have cat balls near them. And I'm asking if any of the people in front of me, does she want to talk to them? Is there's someone there that she kind of remembers? And I'm just going down, pointing to everyone. I got to Travis first time the yes bell light lit up. Bing, right on command. What about Travis? You remember him? Bing, there it was. She loved that he was there. And he brought a motion detector with him that he put on the side of him, but facing away from where we were. That thing, music. It was like she was trying to impress him. She would make the music sound and then the music sound in the other room. And then she would do stuff in the room. So it was like a kid that wanted to, like, hey, look what I can do. Hey, look what I can do. Hey, look what I can do. And it was really cool. And it was her and I think a woman named Mary who was there with her 2 kids. And it's like she knew that that woman was the mom of the 2. They weren't kids. They were like 20s, whatever. But she really liked that woman. And it was because she was a mom, and I guess she just gave off that mom vibe. And Kathy was nice enough to give up her Halloween, a little bag of Halloween pretzels. And as soon as I put that down there for her, bam, she was like, oh, yeah, that's the stuff. As she started reacting, which was really, really cool. And again, I was tired. I was really tired that night. And, but again, you get, you feed off of the spirits interacting, you feed off the people that are there, experiencing things. And it just, I enjoy it so much when all of that starts happening, that I'm not tired anymore. I'm just enjoying myself, so that was a good night. And again, from what I heard, there were different things going on in the different areas. Chris isn't here, but I heard Nikki, we all talked at the diner afterwards about what happened and the experiences we had. And I think, what did you say? Everything is yeah. It, it's I am fascinated by. I'm not only doing an event. I'm like doing paranormal research in here, and I'm watching for 4 hours all that goes on in my area. I could see everything happening, group to group, people to people. Um, Knock in the attic. That was a loud knock too. Um, there's people up in the attic too that have worked there. Everyone in the stables, the carriage house, that big beautiful brick building that I showed you, I think everyone in there worked there. I don't think there's any family members, although this is the tidbit that I did find out. um, One of the docents was with me. I think her name was Isabella. And I kept saying, I interact with a child here. Why would a child be here? Maybe children work there. Child labor is nothing unusual for this country. Um, she said that there was one particular Kane generation that lived there that had 13 kids, and that three of them had passed at a young age. And then there was another generation of Canes that had two children die. And I was like, oh, so there's, and now I have to research their names and really try to hone in on who this might be. Layers. I love layers. I love the mystery. And there is, not that you guys have ever seen it, and we would never bring people there, but there is a pet cemetery on the Liberty Hall property. It's near the mansion. And just like the movies, you see the name of this dog and the name of this cat. It's really cool, but it's kind of weird too to have that on a property. You don't see that in many properties. So um, really, really cool. Good night. Like I said, I love Liberty Hall. For me, um, it's very unique to be in a building that generations of family have lived in. All the furniture, everything. If you've been there, you go in that attic and you see the amount of furniture that is just stored up there. That's from the early 1900s. There's old toys, and again, this is all their property. It's all there in like a time capsule. Everything that belonged to them, and it's really, really cool to have that all in one place. So I remember when they tell you to stay up all day after you, yeah. Um, yeah, beautiful property for sure. So I had a good time for sure doing that event. Um, so that was the Liberty Hall event. Again, great group of people, good energy, good attitude. Um, really enjoyed it. I will never schedule another event after the expo. If there is another expo, that's a whole nother story. We have a meeting. I haven't announced this on the Power Unity page, but we have a meeting December 3rd with the mayor. So right before we head to the Hoover House for the big December event, which is the next one we're doing, we'll know if there's an expo or not, another one. So that'll be weird. We'll either be in a great mood or I'll be drinking. We'll see what happens. I'm hearing positive things, but you never know. I went there today for something, and apparently the people who work in the offices there are talking about next year. And I'm like, well, I haven't got approval for next year, so I haven't heard anything. So I don't know for sure. Hey, Kathy, how are you? Sherwood Manuel. I don't know who you're referring to, but so The Creeper Gallery, uh, probably tomorrow or Wednesday. Um, there's two things in there. I was looking at one thing. I'm not a big fan of like anything belonging to a person. Like when I say that, I mean I don't like really investigating skulls and hair and like that kind of thing. I don't mind objects. Objects are inanimate, but like hair and skull and teeth and fake eyes and stuff like that, that kind of is weird for me. And that, it belonged to the person, like physically belonged to the person. That kind of, you know, I don't know. I get a little more touching hair and stuff. It's just, like I said, DNA. It's there, and she has this new object. I didn't read any of the information, but I did see that um, it's like a braid of gray hair. And then there's this little kind of picture. It's like cardboard. It's kind of hard to explain. It's like a card, and it's like the silhouette of a woman, but instead of like the hair part, the silhouette of the hair is the actual hair of the woman on the card too. And I'm like, ooh, so uh, that would be one that I would do, and this other bear that we were going to do the other night. But that's what I wanted to talk about. Switch glasses. I can't read any of that stuff. I think people with phone hall answer questions. The other thing I wanted to talk about, when we were at the Creeper Gallery last time, this is what the discussion was at the Creeper. We were talking about whether or not the object that we did last, which was, what was that thing? Was that a doll? Was it a doll? I don't remember. Got my memory shot. Whether or not that should be in the quote unquote deemed dangerous room, meaning Donna doesn't sell any of that stuff. And there was a person wanting to buy one of the skulls there that had a horrific story attached to it. And I know she was kind of arguing with herself about whether or not that was going to be sold or not. I don't remember there being a whole lot of dark energy attached to that one. I mean, there was stuff there, but there's a lot more in that area to be afraid of. But anyway, that doll, you read the information, how we always do. You go in with, was it a doll? You go in with the mindset of, okay, here's what we have. The story of Leanne, what was her name? Leanne, what was her name? What was like a Leantha or something like that. The information was what it was. Nothing in there about negative energy, about anything like that. It was supposed to be a woman, and here we go with the spirit box, and never, ever, ever, ever have I heard the word demonic so many times through the spirit box, ever. And it was the same man saying it. And it's just like, what is going on here? Leantha, right. Um, Kathleen, I just told you all I went through with falling asleep behind the wheel and the monkey. Everyone was talking about the monkey yesterday. With the monkey, and Kathleen is asking me about doing the Ouija board again. Kathleen wants to see my big finale where the last object I do. But anyway, so everything that's coming through was men, and it wasn't nice at all. I mean, I think like weird words were coming through the obelisk and stuff. And then the energy that touched off when I referenced the word demonic was like, that was, when I tell you it's not just the lights there, it's tangible. The energy changes. And when it does, that's when you have to kind of really put your guard up. And even me, who's used to the dark stuff and pushing the envelope a little bit when it comes to that stuff, in the back of my mind, don't think that I'm not saying one of these days something's gonna attached to me, and it ain't going to be good. It's happened once or twice, but I managed to get rid of it. But I started feeling that pressure build with those lights going and going and going. And even I start getting nervous when they start throwing around words like demonic. And I'm not hearing a female like I thought I would. I'm hearing these men just come through, and I'm wondering, what the hell do they have to do with this? What is going on here? You know? And we're trying to figure out who we're dealing with and what we're dealing with. And meanwhile, whoever it is getting more aggravated and more aggressive in the way they're speaking and what they're doing. And we can only see what's ahead in our headlights. We don't know what's way ahead down the road. We're driving and looking as far as we could look. You know what I mean? With an object, you don't know exactly what you're dealing with a lot of the times. So we're talking about that object, and again, I don't know what your guys' opinion on that object was or not. Deemed dangerous. It was so funny too, because when Donna asked me, and I looked at her, and I really had to think about it, and I was just like, well, the demonic thing was concerning, and referencing it, and the bell going off, and the light show, that's concerning. That was, we stayed with it longer because we were trying to see what the energy was like and what it was capable of. And so Chris says to Donna, I think that maybe we need to do that one again. And I'm like, when you say we, you mean me. I'm the one who's going to be out in front of that thing after agitating it the first time. And here we are again, So, I don't know. I don't know if that's a deemed dangerous object. You guys, let me know what you think about that. Um, I don't know really how to categorize that one. I don't know. If dangerous, don't know. That's the problem. I'm thinking deemed dangerous, maybe investigate it one more time. Yeah, unfortunately, but we've done that in the past with objects. I'll tell you two objects that are dangerous that I know for a fact. Probably three. Um, the curse board box, sorry, which the same guy who wanted to buy the skull wanted to buy the curse box, and Donna was like, "No way." And I don't blame her. I won't want to be responsible for whatever that thing could do. It's proven. People died when we opened that thing. Her dog got really violently ill, and somebody else passed away that same morning we opened it. And I was affected by that. Um, that one is definitely dangerous. Margaret, you know me, I'm horrible with names, but that doll I'll never forget because I've never seen an object with such schizophrenic energy as that doll. And I feel so bad for the daughter because the mom combined some of her ashes with her daughter because she wanted to be kind of bound with her forever. Her daughter was held under thumb the whole entire time until her accidental death. And the mother was she's got serious issues, and she comes out as erratic every time you either try to talk to her or you try to talk to the daughter. We actually tried in the early investigation. I think we investigated that doll 3 times at least to separate the two and reassure the daughter that she's safe and we could help her and we could do things for her. And the mom's energy is just so overwhelming that it's just boom, the daughter just goes away again. And there's mom. That one's dangerous. I would never bring that energy into my house. Unpredictable. And the other one is the sensors that were used in the exorcism. And not so much for the activity that we got, because we did get negative stuff. But when Chris passed out, if you were there, you remember, you saw it. I'm not making this up. If you were there, you saw it yourself. We were doing an event, just like we're going to be doing in December. I made the mistake of bringing out the sensors because I knew that they took a little bit of prodding and people were going to get to see what they were kind of capable of a little bit. And we were on the fence about were we going to use them for an event or not. But again, you know me, I want to give the people what they paid for. So we bring them out, and they were literally the last object we were doing as part of that event. And I'm trying to do EVP or whatever. And I just hear something drop onto the floor. And yeah, if you were there, you remember because it was scary. And I turn around and Chris is passed out. She was holding a flashlight. She was sitting in a chair behind me, I believe, to my left. And she just, and the flashlight dropped and she was out. And then she had to leave the building and she got real sick. She threw up outside in the alley, had to stay out there a while with Tanya. And we ended that event right then and there. Fortunate for us, it was close to the end anyway. But never would I bring that into my house, ever, ever. And again, it was used in a religious type of way to battle, if you will, demonic energy and negative energy. Yet it's still holding on to some of that. So no, 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 no. The doll Carl von Kassel, the one with Elena, I think that I agree, Kathy, in a sense, just because of the intent and the potential energy around it. I don't know, but that's Donna's call. There was nothing that came through that was threatening, as far as I remember, but you know, some just based on the fact that God, the horrific stories that are connected to them. You know, it is interesting in a lot of ways because again, go back to Cody and Satori and their objects. Jolene, the big stuffed Raggedy Ann looking doll, that's a really, really positive, nice energy. And she did I get scratched from that one? Seriously? Kathy, it just goes to show you my memory. If I did, then yeah, it should go deep dangerous. I don't remember. I really don't remember. But you know, Jolene is a very positive energy, and Jolene is one of the few objects that I've ever met. And I haven't tried this with Creeper Gallery items, and maybe I will someday. Actually, we did try it once. There aren't many objects that have spirits that can draw other spirits that are kind of like, I hate to use the word portal, but they act as a portal and a conduit. Jolene is that type of object. I would, out of my own curiosity, and maybe Cody would agree to this because I am trying to get them to visit the Creeper Gallery. My own curiosity, I would love to bring Jolene into that room and see what kind of connection, because I don't know if you remember this one. It's still there, and I'm surprised no one's purchased it, but I can understand why you wouldn't. It's like made of cement or something. It's like a totem, and this thing was used to draw out other spirits. Like it was used in like a ritualistic thing to connect with other spirits in a good way, not really the negative ones, in a good way. But unfortunately, something that could be used in that kind of ritual can also draw in whatever spirits I think are around. And we were investigating that item at the Creeper Gallery, and that was a magnet for whatever was around. That's scary. I would not want that in my house because the potential for that to draw in things you don't want is there. So no, I won't want that either. Male seemed to be talking. Remember when Raggedy Ann doll flew off the table? Jolene, oh, you're talking about that was at Camp Evans, and I felt horrible because it was John Zaffis's items, and Satori literally had just warned me about not breaking Liza. Like, make sure you put Liza in the middle of the table because Liza's kind of porcelain. And I said, I'm not going to break Liza. You have nothing to worry about. I'm not going to. So I make sure those items are real good, and I did with John's items as well. It was Raggedy Ann, Raggedy Andy, they're porcelain. I put them right in the middle of a like a picnic table, and all of a sudden we're doing our group thing, and I had all the objects, and we were investigating the objects as well as the room, and we hear like slide back, and I'm like, "What? Anybody? What? What?" And they're like, "It was a doll over there," and I'm like, "What? Where?" And I go over and I see it was one of John's Aphises. It was, I think it was a Raggedy Andy. I think the arm, which is porcelain, cracked from here to here, just one big piece on the ground. It literally tumbled over, rolled, and off the table. It wasn't just like on the edge, teetering, and did one of these. It was a good 6 inches to 8 inches into the table. So even if it fell over, it wasn't going to go the distance to the floor. It had to have done a roll bang, a roll flop. And I was happy that John wasn't PO'd at me, because I was nervous about that. But I wasn't even talking to those dolls. That was the funny thing. But Jolene was in the room. Jolene nodded her head up and down in the Hoover House. But Jolene, I cannot wait for the Hoover House, but it's either one or the other. It's either I'm going to be on the second floor of the Aller House with Jolene and Liza and try to interact with the woman who passed away. She had tuberculosis, so they kind of kept her on the porch where the air was a lot, getting sun and getting fresh air to try to treat it. And she passed on hospice on that floor. Jolene's very good at connecting with her, and I got a lot of interaction. Problem is, yours truly, I like the basement because there's a male energy there that's a little darker who doesn't let Jolene or Liza say or do anything. They were the most quiet they've ever been, ever with me. Not a peep, not a sound, not a move, nothing. And it wasn't until I removed them that this guy just went full bore. Never in my life have I had the spirit box or whatever. I might have used the echo box. Say, I had the headphones on someone with the blindfold using the echo box. I had them in a separate room. We went from that end of the basement to the other side of the basement, and I closed the gray door so that we were separated from that person. She or he couldn't hear anything. We could hear because I had a microphone and a speaker. But she said, no lie, he's coming. And we're all like, who's coming? We're asking questions from that room. And then she said, the door. I kid you not. The gray door separating the basement flew wide open right after she said it. I was like, holy F. And Brian Raleigh, who was there with me, was sitting at the top of the stairs. I yelled to him. Now, everybody in the room saw it. I yelled to him, Brian, did you see that? He said, I saw it from up here. Not only did it happen once, it happened twice. Another group, the door again, and whoa. I was like a kid in a candy store. That was the most awesome thing. Again, talking about validation, literally said the door before they opened the door. You can't get better than that anywhere, ever, So it's a double-edged sword for me. It's either I take the objects and I use them to investigate on the second floor, or I go down. Maybe I'm going to do both. Maybe Friday night I'll use the objects and I'll do it on the second floor, and then Saturday night I'll just do the basement and talk to who's ever down there. This way I get to do both for me. But I'm looking forward to that a lot. I really am, because for us, yeah, we're doing 2 events, but that weekend is so much more than that. It kicks off the whole holiday for me. Anyway, we go downtown Gettysburg, and you know what? Even if you didn't get tickets to the event, to the ghost hunt, Gettysburg is awesome that weekend. And if you were downtown, we're going to be downtown Saturday all day until we have the ghost hunt. And we go down there usually on Sunday too, just to hang out before we head home. Uh, it's worth the trip, man. What an awesome way to kick off the holidays downtown Gettysburg. You know, I'm looking forward to it too. John Zappis will be there. His wife Cheryl, who's not into the paranormal, believe it or not. Cheryl's funny. Cheryl's a really funny and nice lady. And of course, Cody and Satori are going to be there. We have a surprise in store for Cody and Satori that we're not talking about that should be really funny. So we usually go back and forth with the mannequin that weekend. Don't ask. But we have a great time. It's tradition now that we do that. I love going. It is an awesome. Just if you want roasted chestnuts, make sure you get downtown before Kathy because she literally cleans the guy out and you'll never get any. Right, Kathy? So yeah, just, again, to talk about, the year and all that we've done this year, really busy. Even though I said we were going to slow down, we really didn't. My fault. But we're thinking, about next year. When I say we, I mean Chris. She's really kind of dictating, not dictating, but just getting it into my head that, maybe we shouldn't do as much as we've done in the past. Which, I do want to go places and travel and see things, and her and I just spend time together, which we should, and get that honeymoon in that we haven't done yet. But I love doing what we do. I enjoy being around people. I enjoy supporting all of these great places that we support through the years, and it never gets old for me. It really doesn't get old for me. That's the problem. That's the worst kind of double-edged sword, is that I never have a mail it in type of event. I'm always there, even if I'm tired. I'm always, if the stuff starts happening, I'm in. I'm loving it, whether it's just us doing it or it's us and you doing it. I enjoy it. And that really hasn't diminished one bit. But yeah, we'll worry about next year. We are going to, people are already asking me, not you guys, but the locations. They're asking for dates because they want to fill in their calendar. Hey, Naomi, I'm not giving anybody any dates yet because I want to think about, where and when and how much. There are places that people really like, John and Skeet. If you've ever been there, it's not a big building, but gosh darn it, I'm not going to swear. That basement is one of the most active places I've been in. And I know people love it and I love it. And I'd like to do more because even when we announce that event, it goes so quick that even the volunteers, that the docents, the people on the board, they don't get tickets. And now they're asking me, could you hold back a week before you announce it and let our people buy them because they want to go. And I do. I mean, in a perfect world, we would do more there. But, there's only so many weekends in a year. And places like Camp Evans and the Mine are important to me. They really are. I mean, really important. Every place is important to me. But, those places in particular, I'm such good friends with the locations and the people that run them. And they've had faith in me and supported us. So, yeah, I get it. Everybody wants new places. Everybody wants to go to different locations and places they haven't been. And I get that. Believe me, I do. But, we are going to do one new location, maybe two next year. That's a whole nother issue with all of this. And people are asking about Burlington Prison, and I'd like to get one or two of those in. But, again, there are only so many weekends, and I don't want to be doing this every weekend. Even every other weekend is a lot. So it's a matter of figuring it out. But, I love going to the places we go to and having the opportunity to support them. Innskeep is my favorite, and one of my favorites too. But we are going to continue to support the places we have been and figure out what else to do in between. Like I said, I do want to plan at least 3 trips where we go away and we go someplace we haven't been, and we just go hang out, just to hang out. I love the idea of doing what we do at the Hoover. I want to be able to investigate. I want to be able to spend time. I want to eat food, have a cocktail or two, and just enjoy, the place without, we have to do this, we have to do that. We got to, I want to do more of that, but it's up to Chris. And after what happened this weekend, believe me, she's really that's going to be her excuse now for, we have to do less. You're too tired. You're exhausted. You fell asleep. So she's going to use that for sure. Anyway, it is what it is. But tomorrow night or Wednesday night at the Creeper, more than likely, it'll probably be tomorrow, because I know this is going to sound totally bizarre, but I'm home. There's no expo to promote. The rest of our events, there's only 2, I think, are sold out. There's really nothing for me to do paranormal wise. I know that's probably a lot to some as it is, but I don't enjoy sitting and watching TV and doing nothing. It just, I can't. So yeah, I get bored. She said she's in there sleeping now. And I said to her, I'm bored. I have energy. I'm bored. And she's like, well, relax. I'm like, relax. I'm bored. Like, I would have gotten my car and gone to the Creeper tonight, but I know I need to rest. So rest tonight, maybe haunted objects tomorrow. Sounds right? All right, guys. Either Tuesday or Wednesday, live from the Creeper Gallery, 7:30. Yeah, I'm one of those people that just idle. What is that saying about idle hands or something? The devil's hand, whatever. What is that saying? I don't know that saying, but I can't just sit and do nothing. I miss your weekend photos where you and Chris do other stuff. Yeah, well, holiday, Christmas. Many places we're going to go for December. We're going to do I love Christmas. We're going to do all the Christmas stuff. So we'll get to that. Anyway, have a good night, guys. I'll see you tomorrow night or Wednesday night. It'll either be me or it'll be Chris and I. I don't think Chris is going to make it, but I'll be there. And maybe I'll do that Ouija board. No, I'm not going to do it. Anyway, have a good night, guys. Take care.